welcome to Deadsville Horror Talk. I'm your host, Ronin James, and to my left, the lovely Steph Infection.
Hi, Scream Hearts.
We are back a little bit late this week with the latest episode. We had some personal things going on last week that took us away from getting this one recorded, but we're back on schedule this week, yes. Actually reviewing the movie we watched last week. So, so here we are. We watched a new movie called All Fun and Games. Yes. We will be talking about today on this episode, 2023 American Horror. It is available now on Amazon.
Yes. Yeah.
We rented it on Amazon. I think it was $6 or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
$4, $5.
It's like a week ago, but yeah, I think it was $6.
Yeah.
$6.99.
And yeah, it stars, the big names in this one are Asa Butterfield from Ender's Game and a few other things, and Natalia Dyer of Stranger Things fame. So there are two big names in this one. So this one is a bit of a low budget film.
Yeah, definitely.
It is on...
Not too low, but...
No, not too low, but yeah, it's definitely in the lower realm, but they got a couple good actors in this one, and this is another one of the... We'll get into it a little more in a second, but this is another possessed object horror. Another one of our possessed object horrors.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize how many there were until we started this podcast. I guess
a lot of possessed object horrors out there.
What are you gonna possess a person or an object? That's all you really got.
Yep. So before we get to that, though, a bit about us. I am Deadsville director Ronin James. I currently direct Deadsville Rock and Roll Mysteries, along with the Dickie Devil and the Deviants music videos. I produce this podcast. I make content, 1 minute music reviews. I'm sorry, 1 minute movie reviews. Yeah. 1 minute music reviews could be a thing too.
I was just gonna say. Idea, don't steal it.
Yeah, 1 minute music review. No. Did it again. 1 minute movie reviews.
Flustered.
Yes. And some other content along those lines in the comedy and horror realm as well, in the works. I'm a longtime stuntman, been in the business about 20 years. Seen me die on many things, most notably Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, doubled on Gotham and The Tick, and I've been a cop in The Punisher on Netflix, and I've been all over the place. I guarantee you see me get my ass kicked, exploded, shot, something at some point watching TV or movies. Yeah, definitely. She loves those parts.
I do.
Speaking of she, the lovely Steph Infection here is an actress and producer and my partner in crime.
What was the last one?
Partner in Grimm.
Oh, yeah, Grimm.
Doesn't really rhyme.
I know, I don't like it. Partner in crime is
partner in...
Yeah, for
horror.
now, partner in horror. Horror. You gotta say it. Makes me say it.
Horror.
Partner in horror.
My partner in horror. There it is. See, it just flows right off the top. So, yes, she's also a fear leader, head fear leader, as a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact.
And longtime cheer coach, dance choreographer. What else? Producer, wardrobe.
Whatever.
She does her own hair and makeup.
Don't.
She gives me the wrong foundation before the show.
You took my foundation.
I asked for something to make me less shiny. But then where's this? Squirt stuff.
That's not how it's not how the conversation went.
Totally went squirt stuff. And then after I was like, it's clogging on my pores. She's like, oh, I have a powder.
And this is how I talk, people.
It is. This is how I talk, people. See, it's a spot-on impersonation.
Oh.
There it is.
You're never getting my makeup again.
I'm getting my own makeup.
Never getting my squirty squirt.
Just gonna get white makeup and be like, poof.
Yeah.
Big poof.
I would like, yes. I would like to get one of those big ones and just
I bet
poof
you
right in
would.
the face.
Poof me in the face with a big one. Damn it, it's not that kind of show, Steph Infection.
You said squirty squirt first.
Hey. I could have been talking about Pokemon, all right?
Really?
Squirtle.
I don't know Pokemon.
Pokemon. Come on, get with it. Get with it.
We were talking about a show I know nothing about.
Anyway, all right. It's called Action Time. If you're not already following, liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, ding ding, punching the buttons and bells and whistles and doing the things.
All the things.
Do all the things. Do all the follows and all the things. And then you can also email us.
Yeah.
Where?
At deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com.
Bing, 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 bing.
Subject mailbag.
Mailbag.
Let's see if we even got anything.
Yeah. While you check that, Steph Infection, I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to keep this episode moving today. Real quick, I got a cool box here, straight from Amazon Prime, because I realized that this popped up the other day in my feed as something that existed, and I didn't know it existed.
We got an email.
We got an email. Oh, my goodness.
You do that. And
Somebody actually emailed us. But yeah, I didn't even know this existed. And normally I don't collect these things. This is one of the things that I try not to collect very much of. Because there's just way too fucking many of them. But for the right one, I will get them. And I do have a few. So I am happy to add this cool black and white Werewolf by Night Funko Pop.
That's pretty cool. If you didn't see that, it's a good one.
Yeah, we'll have to do a review on this.
Oh, yeah.
Come Halloween.
I would definitely.
And it's a bobblehead. Look at that, he's a bobblehead. But yes, your werewolf. They also have Jack Russell, Elsa Bloodstone, and Ted. Man-Thing, a.k.a. But yeah, very cool. I don't really do the pops very much, but I do love me some Werewolf by Night. So we will put him there. And there we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you have pictures of any cool pops or collectibles you want to send us to feature on the show, we can do a little toy segment maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Every episode. Somebody send in a cool toy they have, something rare, something we could show off if they want. If you want, feel free to send that in the mailbag.
Yes. Deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com. Subject mailbag.
Mailbag.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that that's over with, let's get to it, Steph Infection.
And I will read our mail at the end.
Yep, we'll come back to that mail. Give us that storyline for All Fun and Games.
Okay. A group of Salem teens discover a cursed knife that unleashes a demon that forces them to play gruesome, deadly versions of childhood games where there can be no winners, only survivors.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I wore a shirt that has a little childhood game on it.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And I did not. I wore this new Scream shirt.
You did buy me this, though.
I did.
Yeah, so there you got a piece.
Yeah.
Hide and seek world champ.
Yes, that's Steph. She is the hide and seek world champion. She is the Steph Squatch.
Yes. Don't forget it.
Paparazzi can't catch her.
No.
She's like John Cena in the woods. Get her around a tree. She's just John Cena's out of that bitch. Can't see her. All right. So our director on this one, Erin Celeboglu.
Yeah, you got that.
And Ari Costa. God damn, I'm pretty good with names, huh?
I'm
going to assume that's it.
I don't know.
Celeboglu.
I am confident in you.
Well, let's click on old Erin here. Erin, The Internet Kills in 2020, did Little Scrubs in 2001, All Fun and Games in 2023. The Internet Kills was a short.
113
Scrubs was just additional
episodes.
crew. The Bride was a short. Yeah, he's only directed a few things. He's done a lot of production staff work. Assistant to Bill Lawrence on Scrubs. And, oh yeah, he directed one episode of Scrubs, 5 episodes of Scrubs Interns, a spin-off, I assume.
I mean, that's a safe assumption.
The Bride is a short from 2018. The Internet Kills, a short he co-directed in 2020.
Well,
and then he gets to jump to 2023.
Yeah, and he's got some recognizable actors and
well, yeah, that definitely
it's
helps.
low
Well, he was
budget
also a co-director, so there was 2 directors in here. We also had Ari Costa. So let's take a quick look at what Ari Costa brought to the table. If my laptop would cooperate, here we go. Ari Costa is much more seasoned, I believe. Yeah, 13 director credits. Well, again, it looks like he's worked on a lot of the same stuff.
But he was a producer in bigger stuff.
But yes, he's done a lot of shorts. Yeah, he's done a bunch of shorts, some music videos, bunch of shorts. Yeah, TV series. But he's been a producer and on production staff. So, yeah, a bunch of credits. Co-producer, executive producer, co-producer, associate producer on Avengers Endgame, associate producer on Infinity War, associate producer on Civil War. So he's been around the game quite a bit. And I guess this was kind of his way to step into the director's chair a little more here. So, yeah, I mean, the direction is pretty good. I thought it was done pretty well, considering I didn't even check what the budget was on this. I believe it's here at the bottom somewhere.
Yeah, there was a couple shots and whatnot that I can think of off the top of my head that done pretty well. And
yeah, I mean, and the actors were really good. He got good performances from his actors.
Can't find it, can you?
No, I can't find the budget.
Can't find it, can you? Let's see. Box office. It shouldn't be there.
I mean, there is a box office. It's like 34,000 or something like that. Yeah, worldwide. So it didn't get that long. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keeping it moving. There's 3 writers on this: J.J. Brader, Aaron Selaboglu, and Ari Costa. So our 2 directors also co-wrote this script. And yeah, it was. I didn't really hate the writing. Surprisingly enough, I didn't really hate the writing. Did we have
any gripes with it? You mean?
Well, do we have a dead parent? Do we have a child with a dead parent? See if we can check off the Hollywood tropes.
Well, the father wasn't there. I think it was a single mom.
Yeah, it's always a single mom, right?
Well, yeah, but nothing that I can.
Yeah, because I don't remember if there was a whole thing with a dead father or a dead parent. Trying to figure out where they're trauma, because there has to be some Hollywood trauma here.
It comes up at the end of why this is all happening. There's a trauma involved.
Oh, okay. All right, well, then we come to that.
But no, it wasn't nothing. It was just single mom needs to go work, and which we'll get into later. But I don't think
the kids are kind of left to their own devices, and.
But it was pretty standard. Could have just. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep it moving here. When we get to our first takes, you'll get more of our reactions, I guess, and our opinions on this one. Into our cast. Asa Butterfield, who, again, you might recognize from, I would go to, what was it called? Ender's Game. The video game-inspired kind of space epic that was supposed to be this big thing in 2013, and he's Ender, and it was this trilogy of books. It was along the lines, it was like the sci-fi version of Hunger Games supposed to be, this new big, and it failed miserably. So yeah, I mean, he's done a few things since then. His biggest thing, he does this TV series, Sex Education, which
I've heard. I feel
25 episodes from 2019 to 2023.
Yeah, I remember seeing, that on TV, and I never. It looks funny. Looked pretty decent.
He's done a few horrors. Choose or Die. He was Isaac, the 2022. And that one's popped up. I haven't watched it, but it's popped up a couple times.
Choose or Die?
Choose or Die, it's called. It's on Shudder, I believe.
I'll have to check
We got a series called 50 States of Fright, where he's in 3 episodes of that.
If you've seen any of these, send us an email at deadsvillehardtalk@gmail.com. Let us know if we should watch it.
Slaughterhouse Rules, Journey's End, The House of Tomorrow, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. He was Jake. Ender's Game, Hugo. Oh, he was in The Wolfman. He was young Ben in the 2010 The Wolfman. Merlin TV series.
All right.
He's done a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was good enough. I mean, his character's not super deep, but
I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I think I liked him the best.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we'll get into like the questions that I have though.
Okay.
All right. So Natalia Dyer plays Billy, and she is
Nancy
Stranger
Wheeler.
Things. She's Nancy from Stranger Things, and she's good in this. She's like a goth girl in this one. She's got your haircut. She's got the black bangs and the gothy kind of.
Yeah.
She's the one that's kind of like, she's like the angsty teen, I feel like, in this, right? She's like the angsty one.
Oh, yeah.
So.
The brother, it's like, just want to go have sex with your boyfriend in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like me.
Great.
Sasquatch.
Oh,
So it was a Sasquatch joke.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I
Totally Sasquatch joke. Annabeth Gish has been in some other stuff as well. She's a veteran actress. Laurel Marsden is Sophie.
Benjamin Evan Ainsworth plays Joe.
Yes, he's the youngest of the siblings. So you have the 3, right? Joe, Billy, and Marcus are the 3 siblings of the Annabeth Gish mom character. Annabeth Gish doesn't even have a character name. She was just mom. She doesn't even have a name
She
next
doesn't
to
even
it.
have mom.
No, nothing. There's not even a name on her IMDb page. She was just in it. They never even gave her a name.
Huh. That's funny. Oh, yeah, she was in Mystic Pizza. All right. Well, whatever. There's a couple other
actors, nothing of note, really. This thing, there's some teens in it. You got Pete, played by Colton Stewart. Who are the other ones? Nick, by Matthew Lupu. Oh, jeez. Oh, Bob. Eric Athavale. Bob was Uncle Bob, the deadbeat uncle.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. So that's about it. That's
the guy at the end, he's in a lot of stuff. He's in Violent Night.
Street Barker. Frederick Allen as Street Barker.
He's uncredited in a bunch of stuff that's like...
Yeah, he's probably like he's like an extra.
Yeah.
He's an extra that works a lot and puts his man in line, he's an extra. So here's what people do on their IMDb page. I'll let you in another insider secret.
Oh, now I see.
Sometimes when you see uncredited, that's because they were an extra, especially when your credits include piano player, man in crowd, person in crowd, man in line, one of the 3 wise men, individual and mental institution, rehab patron, courtroom spectator, first monk, Russian mafia member, hospital patient, cheesemonger, bar patron, party guest, crowd member, and in this one, Street Barker. This one, he actually had a line, because a street barker is somebody who yells on the street, so he actually had a line. All these other ones, uncredited, no line.
But see, from my untrained eye, I went, oh, he's in all of this stuff. Violent Night, Blood.
Yeah, he was an extra in all that stuff.
And I was like, oh.
He lives wherever this was filmed, and all those movies filmed there. So wherever this was filmed, what was your filming location? That is where that individual lives.
Did you see it?
I'm still looking.
Yeah.
I can't find anything on this, man. This is driving me up a wall. I can't find...
It's not really on there. It just says country of origin, United States. That's it. Yeah.
Every other movie gives you where it was filmed, gives you their budget, their production budget, you know, real movies.
Canada, I'm assuming.
I'm going to guess, too.
Because I know Stranger Things, I believe, was
filmed shot in Canada.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. And, yeah, I would just assume.
So, yep, and I would bet all those other movies on that guy's list are all shot in Canada as well. He is a Canadian background player.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got...
No, that's how you get in. And then he finally got a line. Look at that.
Yeah.
Street barker. He got to say a line. Good for him.
It's only been like a decade.
Good for him. All right, so let's get to our first takes.
I knew it was coming.
All right.
That scared me.
Steph Infection, you're up. Or you need to compose yourself. Should I go first this time?
Actually, yes, go, because...
I will go first this time. Ladies first. Hence, I shall go.
Is your hair longer than mine?
My hair is longer than yours.
Can we be like...
I have more makeup on than you, and I am more fabulous. Anyway, my first take is... I was actually pretty impressed with this movie. We watched the trailer, and the trailer grabbed me. I try not to watch trailers too much because they tend to give you too much in the trailer usually, and they spoil a whole bunch, and I hate seeing the trailer because they give you some of the best parts in the trailer. But this, it kind of came out of nowhere. I never heard of it before. Not familiar with the writer, director, anything like that. Was familiar with the 2 stars. So when it popped up as a new release,
we stopped the trailer early.
Yeah. We started. I was like, let's look at the trailer and see what
grabbed us.
Yeah, and the trailer was good enough that we stopped the trailer early, and we were like, yeah, this is what we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch this one because we were literally sitting and going through trailers and trying to decide because it was a non-theater week last week. So and the trailer was good enough that it pulled me in, and this is how you do a low-budget movie well. There's not a lot of, there's not a lot of special effects. There's not a lot of, there's not a lot of crazy CGI or anything like that. They don't have the budget for a lot of that stuff. There's not a lot of practical effects either. I mean, there's a lot of what's going on here is good suspense building and tension building cinematography and some pretty good character acting kind of interplay. I don't want to say that it's like the greatest character development or anything like that. There's and there's definitely some question marks to be had with everything, but for the most part, I thought it did a really good job of doing what it set out to do with a solid, haunted object, edge of your seat horror.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. Yeah. More than I probably thought I was going to.
Yeah, same. I think when we started it, we were like, all right, grabbed it. Now, are you on the edge of your seat? No, not at all. But overall, I liked it. And I feel like we usually, especially with low budget, and this movie, I'm sure some of you might not enjoy it and you might not be into it, and that's fine. I read some reviews that people are saying the opposite, but for, like you said, for low budget, for what they did, I think they did well, and it kind of showed that, like the scariness behind when you're a kid and you're playing hide and go seek, and how terrifying certain things are. When you're playing childhood games and wanting to get caught, but imagine it's actually like a killer coming after you. Like I kind of felt in those movies. Was I on the edge of my seat? No, but I was enjoying it, and I thought it was done well with what they had. So I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I could have used a little more of the gameplay.
Yeah.
But I liked the way that the stakes were really high. It's like when you take the you know, when you're a kid and you're playing the game, the stakes are high. As you grow to an adult, you're like, it's just a game. But now what if you, and even, not that they're adults, but in your teens and young adulthood, you raise the stakes.
What if your life depended
on these games and being able to play hide and seek?
I'd be dead.
Yeah, I thought it did a solid job of, with what it had to work with. I really would love to know what the budget was on this.
I know.
Because I felt like they did a really good job. There was never a point where I felt like it's slow, like it dragged. I felt like the script, even if stuff was like
slower.
Not even slower. Even when there were parts where I would question maybe a decision by a character or something like that. It's still like it wasn't to the point where it took me out of it. It was like, okay, I might not have done that, but I could understand how they would, and it kind of kept it moving. There was never a point. Sometimes we get into these movies where I'm just like, why would you even do that? And it takes me completely out of the moment, or takes me completely out of the movie.
It says their budget was $20 million.
Oh yeah.
Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah. Finishing up the top 5 is All Fun and Games, which had its biggest weekend drop yet, falling 42% for 2.3 million 7th weekend. Of course, that's no reason to frown for the horror film, which has a domestic cume of 103 million, global cume of 210 million, from a budget of just 20 million. That's pretty fucking successful. Mm-hmm. That's a successful movie. I mean, this thing is online, and this is the market now. I mean, that's not just like box office. That's that's online sales, global sales, everything. So, I mean, that's where your horror movies are making money nowadays. If you take the movie like this, you're able to make it for $20 million. You put it on to Amazon and VOD for $6, $7, and a ton of people just love horror. They eat this shit up, and
and something new. Yeah.
Yeah, good for them. All right, well, I mean, that's going to do it for our first takes. We both enjoyed it.
Yeah,
both
absolutely.
Liked it for a low budget, couple dollar rental. Streaming, definitely recommend checking it out. It's got a fun cast and a cool little premise, and keeps it moving. It's a pretty interesting film.
Agree.
All right. You know what that means? It's time for a Steph Infection. Bring out the shovels! Oh, take a deeper. Oh, falling in the hole.
I'm going to push you in.
And we're back! Steph Infection!
That wasn't a long break!
Yes, I know. I had to get ya.
I'm going to actually shove you in a ditch.
Ah, yes, shove me in a ditch. The bitch that shoved me in a ditch. That's my next short film.
About me?
Yes, shove me in a ditch. Killing me and shove me in a ditch.
That bitch that shoved me. Okay. Can we make this? You've heard it here first. We need to make this, right? Where you just do something stupid and I end you.
Yep, just end me and shove me in a ditch. All right, but first you'll have to dig that ditch a little deeper, Steph Infection.
All right. Yeah.
So let's do it. This one starts off with a flashback scene, doesn't it? If I remember correctly. It's been a week since we watched this movie.
Yeah. Oh, wait. There is. I thought I was coming here to follow a timeline.
No, there is no timeline. I just said there's no timeline. See if you can Google one, because I'll just go over the opening scene.
Okay.
This is the spoilery part, folks. I know we sometimes forget to say that here, but this is where the spoilers come in. We're going to talk about all the spoilery good stuff now. So tune out if you haven't watched the movie yet and you want to watch the movie without it being spoiled. And then tune back in and you can pick up where you left off and see if you agree with our takes on All Fun and Games.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I'm going to have
this
any luck.
Starts with a flashback. We see like some Puritan kids dead in the snow, and this was probably for me, the least believable scene of the movie,
Yeah, I
the
agree.
kids were very clean and very modern looking in very obviously costume clothes, not like authentic looking clothes, and the whole scene just kind of seemed kind of like, okay, this is old timey.
I thought it could have been done better, even with like no budget. Like it was snowing on the ground. There's blood. Like we only have one kind of cool moment when the blood kind of sprays, and that was even kind of meh. Like,
the opening didn't do a whole lot to pull me in, I will say that. When that whole opening thing happened, and I was kind of like, and the creepy kid comes out with the knife, and he's like, I will play, I will not quit, and then he slits his throat, right? Yes. And that part I was like, ooh, okay, all right. But like you said, like the kids laying on the ground, like all like dying. I was like, oh man, this could have been better. Yeah. I mean, this definitely had very similar vibes to Talk to Me, I feel like. Yeah. I feel like there was a similar thing here. The cursed object, person getting, I mean, a little bit. How do you not see it? I mean, I see it, like they do. It's a similar
stretching.
Well, they're both cursed object movies.
That's why I'm saying that's about all I see.
No, but then you have the whole thing with the whole thing with the opening scene of Talk to Me, where the kid's at the party and the brother comes storming in and he's like boom boom and he pulls him out and then the kid like stabs the brother and then stabs himself in the face with the knife. Okay. That's what I mean. Like this opens with a bunch of dead kids and another kid running out and slice, and then all of a sudden he's standing there and he says the line. Yes. Yeah. And then he slices his own throat. And it's just kind of like, okay, we're getting a similar kind of kickoff here. I see it. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I got that. I kind of get that. I was thinking of being possessed by like your, for a moment versus being possessed. No, but again, like she started to be possessed because she went too long, and like that's kind of how like in Talk to Me it happened. Whereas he said the full words on the knife on this one, and that's when it. Like, did you notice like in this one? So there was a kind of. I mean, we might jump around a little bit in this one. Well, yeah. And again, I might wind up comparing this a lot to Talk to Me. I got a lot of Talk to Me vibes, and it's weird to say Talk to Me vibes from this because they were both probably. Made. Sorry, I want to make sure it doesn't get in my microphone. If you are not watching us, please watch us. Can that be a blooper? Oh, sure. A little bloop it. Woo! Oh my God, you happy? I'm cutting all this. No, you were not. We'll see. Anyway, where was I? I don't know. So if I wind up, I'm going to wind up comparing these. Yeah. A lot. All fun and games, and Talk to Me because that opening scene just. All right, now I get it. But they probably came out around the same time, or were made around the same time-ish, and I don't know if they ever crossed paths at film festivals or anything like that, but yeah, it definitely had that kind of vibe. But then I also felt a lot of Evil Dead. Like the scenes where, and it was almost like they pulled pieces of Stranger Things, because there were parts when the kids would get possessed. She went into the upside down. She went into the upside down, yeah. Or the other, or whatever you want to call it. The upside down is what it is in Stranger Things. Right, yeah, so, but it literally flipped upside down. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And it looked like, but it was like black and white. And it was like that sepia tone. It was like that brownish sepia. Yeah. So sepia tone with like the like lens flare kind of stuff going on, and kind of blown out a little bit color-wise. Yeah, well, the upside down is like dark, and then it was like in what's the other movie we just did when The Further, like yeah, right. I don't know, and that's all like kind of I guess everything has like. It has that aspect, yeah. It pulled a little bit of that in there. There's only so much you can do, I guess, with horror. We're going to compare them all. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, I get it. It was like their way of being like, okay, he's not in control of himself. This is where he is. He's like kind of in this other side watching his body and watching what he's doing. So you kind of got the sense that he still knew what was going on. He could kind of see, but he wasn't able. He was trapped. So yeah, I mean, they did a good job. It's a very, that's like a post-production effect that you go in and you do some color correction and.
You love color correction, don't you?
I hate color correction. But I hate it. But yeah, I mean, that's, so it's not like a huge budgetary thing. They didn't go into like crazy CGI and all or anything.
Yeah.
They just put some filters on the scenes and,
Yeah, and it did
it did a good enough job, yeah.
But in that sense, I guess it, like the original, like, Evil Dead, where like that's because it was so low budget. It kind of gave me that vibe with the flashing.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And the traveling spirit as it goes to take over. They did a little of that in this as well, coming up to the eyeball, and then when he says the final word, whoosh.
Yeah.
So, but how we get there though, we kind of get established the family dynamic, the 3 kids, and the girl just wants to go fuck her boyfriend in the woods, and.
well, hold on. Well, before this, the 2 brothers, we cut to just like this kid walking through the woods, and there's like an old log cabin.
Yeah.
And he goes in.
Do we get right to the log cabin?
I'm pretty sure we did.
I thought we met the kids first, and then they go out and like go adventuring, don't they? It's been a week. I don't remember.
No, because then they go home.
And that's when we meet
that's
the family?
that's when we meet the family, because she wants to go to the party.
Okay.
She's with her. We may have saw
So we meet
her
the boys.
first.
We meet the boys first, and they find some old like log cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And in the fireplace, in the stove, the old hearth, they pull out a wrapped up old knife made of bone.
Which,
Stuff inscribed on it.
Well, you can't really see it. Like, it was kind of dirty.
So you can't really
burnt,
see it.
actually. It was like kind of burnt.
And
I like this, that it was brought up later and explained, because my first thing I was like, okay, that would not be in that stove. Like it would not be there for hundreds of years just chilling in there.
True.
And then the brother says something along the older brother.
Older brother says that,
he goes, no, put that back.
Put that shit back.
He goes, it's made of bone and stuff. Like it says something like something will follow you if you take that.
Right, home, bad juju. He's seen enough horror movies to know better.
Something along those lines.
And that was a good bit of writing. I liked that aspect of it, because you're like, he's gonna take the fucking knife. Duh. What the fuck? Why would you take that knife? I mean, if I was a kid, I would. But the older brother would be like, no, put it back. And then we're like, okay, good. The older brother has some sense. So that kind of tracked. I was like, cool, all right.
Well, then, like in the Evil Dead, where I'm like, don't go. You're like, nobody would go down there. I'm like, I would go down there.
Yep. Yeah. So all right. So then they go back home, and we meet the family. Blah blah. But then the kid goes to open his bag, and the knife is there.
Yeah, and his eyes like,
little thing, and he's like, what the hell?
And he starts scratching off.
Well, eventually he starts cleaning it,
It's like
right away?
Pretty much, yeah. Right. He's in the bedroom because the mom is saying she's going to go work, and she's like, look, you can't go to your party. You're both staying here. I told your brother he can't go out.
Yeah, you got to babysit the younger brother.
And she's like, well, he'll be here. And we find out the uncle lives there is
he's worthless.
He's worthless, yeah.
Deadbeat uncle. That's her brother.
Yeah. But while they're all fighting in the kitchen, she's like, I want to go to the party and blah, blah, blah. The little kid, Joe, is trying to clean off this knife. And
he does.
He's reading one word at a time as he goes.
Right. And he reads the whole one side of the knife.
Out loud.
And then he puts the knife away because he gets interrupted.
And usually, we kind of talked about this right then, because I went, who reads out loud? And I was like, kids do. Mm-hmm. Like, kids do.
Yeah, totally. So he starts to see things, starts sweating, starts hearing voices. The knife is talking to him now, the spirit of the knife. But at this point, he can't be possessed or taken over fully yet because he hasn't read all the words yet. Right, because the other side of the knife.
He did.
Did he read all the words?
He did. He read all of them. He did.
And why didn't he start killing people?
It was...
I thought it wasn't until... No, I thought Asa Butterfield read all the words because he flipped it over and he's the one that says...
No,
am I it?
He made them all say it, and that was the whole. It was like Duck, Duck, Goose. That was the first game, and then it took over one of them. He read it and he flipped it over and he said that out loud. That's when he kind of became possessed, to a point of making them all not leave.
Well, yeah, he was creepy. He was a good little acting scene, like a good little couple scenes of acting where he was like. The voice is telling him to get them to stay and get them to play a game, and he's sweating, and he's like, and he was good. He did a good job. Good little Canadian actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, and at any rate, the kids all want to go party. He doesn't want them to. Well, he wants them to stay.
The boyfriend shows up. They're like, all right, and he's like, you guys go. I'll stay with Joe. You know, so the older brother.
Well, yeah, he gets them all to play. They all agree to play the game.
Oh, yeah.
Before they go to the party, so he won't tell Mom.
Yes,
and they all say all the words. So they all They all say, "I will play. I will not quit."
Yes, I will.
But they don't say the other side. See, that's what I'm saying. Like they don't say the other side. None of them say the other side of the knife except Marcus.
I feel like that's not true.
That is true because none of them ever even see the other side of the knife. You just say, "I will play. I will not quit." And each one says, I will play, I will not quit. And he's still holding the knife, the kid is. But then Marcus takes the knife away.
Oh, but just like the sister does at the end, if you say the whole thing, it then possesses you. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that's
but the kid was possessed. He read the whole thing.
The kid was. Did he? Was it?
Yes, he read the whole thing. That I know for certain.
All right, well, they were just included in the game because they had said the words.
And then it transferred to the brother's body.
Right, so then Marcus gets the thing, he says all the words, we do the evil dead fly up into his eyeball, and now he goes into the bathroom and carves the X in his head. That was an awful lot of blood for that little X.
Yeah, I guess it kind of was.
There's like a lot of blood dripping in that thing, and all of a sudden, this is like a little carved X in it. I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep.
A lot of blood.
That's not, it's not that vascular there.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of blood from the forehead, really. I don't know. Unless you really split it open.
Certain parts, but not really right there.
Yeah. So then the kid knocks at the door, and Marcus opens the door, and he's like, "What'd you do?" And he's bleeding. He says, "It's time to play." And the kid realizes, "Oh shit, Marcus is possessed!" And he fucking runs. And this is really early on in the movie, which I thought was cool too, because it just got right to it. It was like, okay, time to go. Let's do this. And then he goes down to the girl, and she's like, we gotta go. And she's like, what are you talking about? Oh, no, that's right. First, that's right.
Uncle.
He goes to Uncle first. That's right. He goes to Uncle first. He goes to the uncle.
Which we're like, Uncle's dying first.
Oh, yeah. As soon as the uncle came walking over, like, hey, bud, what you doing? And I was like, you're so dead, Uncle. What the fuck are you? You're so dead.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he hangs him. Let's play Hangman.
And
it's cool, kind of cool. I mean, if I'm the uncle, you're not getting that noose around my neck anyway. That was kind of weird. I don't, like...
Well, he was a little scrawny guy. I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't have gotten close enough to the fucking kid.
He had a knife. So I think he was
The knife and the noose? What are you going to do? Come here, I'll stab you with this noose that's hanging from the tree. Don't run away, because the noose only goes so far.
Well, I think,
I told you I was going to have some questions.
Yeah, well, he did. He approached him, and they were like, what are you doing? Because his uncle was like, are you messing around? Are you high? Are you doing... Like, because he cut the X on his head. So you're not thinking, like, oh, my nephew's going to hang me right now. So he got close enough.
He was making a noose.
But he may have thought he was going to hang himself or something. So he walked up to him because he was like, what are you doing? And then he kind of put it around his neck really quickly. And he goes, we're going to play a game. And, that was probably, if I needed to choose my least favorite way of all these deaths that happen in this movie, that would have been it. That's frightening because you had to like answer.
Oh yeah, he was trying to guess the word. What was the word anyway? Do you remember?
I don't think they ever said it.
Didn't say the word? Oh. Yeah, no. I'm guessing letters.
It was a 4-letter word, because in my head I went, kill. And then he said a letter, and he got it right, and it was not one of those letters. So I don't know if we ever found out.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on from there, he kills Uncle Bill, or Bob, whatever his name is, and then the young Joe goes running, and he runs into the sister as she's walking into the house, I guess, right? Runs into Billy as she's or on the street or something, and he's like, excuse me.
No, they go to the party. And then Billy is like, she left her phone, her mom took her cell phone, and then she sees her boyfriend kissing a girl, that his ex.
At the party, yeah.
But that's what I mean. So she's already at the party when he kills the uncle and stuff.
Okay, so how does Joe get to the party?
He starts running.
Oh, that's right. Joe goes to go to the party, but he doesn't get there. Marcus gets there first.
Yes.
And Marcus does let's play hide and seek.
Yeah, but Billy is now in the woods because she saw her boyfriend.
Yeah, she saw her boyfriend, so she's away from the group. She doesn't know that Marcus is there and starting to kill people. So they're playing hide and seek. He stabs the one dude in the leg right off the bat to show him he means business. And he threatens the one girl, and she agrees to play, and then
the cheater
girl, yeah. And so they all go running. Her death was pretty good.
I was just gonna say I liked her death.
Yeah. You thought she was gonna get out of it because
Yeah.
she's hiding in the
haystack.
Yeah, in the hay as he finishes off. Who was the boyfriend? What was his name? Pete. How fitting.
I know.
Bet you like Pete's death.
Yes. Like all the Pete's death.
But yeah, he finished off Pete, and then you thought maybe the girl was gonna.
He finished off Pete.
Okay, settle down. It's not that kind of show. I know what you're thinking.
I have such a dirty mind right now.
Obviously.
I can't help it.
Somebody, yeah.
It started with you with the squirt. Squirty squirt.
Whatever.
Anyway,
so yeah, Pete dead, and the cheater chick, she's like hiding in a haystack. You see her like eyeball, and you think he's gonna walk away. Because he does, he walks away, and then all of a sudden, she's like looking around, and just wham, 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 and he's on top of her, stabbing the shit out of her, blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Great. Good little quick death. You kind of had a feeling it was coming, though, because it stayed on her eyeball for a little while.
Yeah, but it also, see, that was a moment, like, low budget, like I said, like, where they kind of made it real suspenseful, because you're like, all right, you see her eye, you hear her breathing. Sorry. You hear her breathing. Right. You know that she's covered by the hay, and I'm like, oh, that's a good little spot. No, he knew she was there.
The killer always knows.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm yawning here. It's been a long...
It's usually me.
I know, it's been a long week. And it's only Tuesday. Right? It's only Tuesday. Shows you how long of a week it's been.
Just another manic Tuesday.
Yep. All right, so then he starts slaughtering kids. He gets that one kid in the shed. The kid like runs in. He's looking out the window, and you always kind of tell like when they're in there. He
throws him, right?
No, he comes up and you just stabs him, slices him from behind. You just see the blood spraying over the window.
Yeah.
But the way the guy was positioning himself in the window with like his head, like the window was like this, and he was positioned over here. So you can totally see all this open space over his right shoulder. So
he knows what's coming.
Yeah, so the killer could easily pop in and be like, ha, slice. Just framed perfectly. That excellent cinematography giving it away.
So I used to call it when a person or some object that was all of a sudden center frame. I'm like, all right, something's happening. Something's happening. Yeah. Where's it coming from?
There's an awful lot of space over here in this part of the frame. I feel like something will be there soon. And then, Yep, that's how it happens. So yeah, you got him. That was a kind of saw it coming, but a nice little splat. That blood was like.
Yeah.
Who else did he get? He gets. Well, I guess he just kills like the two. Oh, he gets the other kid too, the other bully kid, because he gets beat up by those two kids, or roughed up by them kids earlier, right? Or no, he gets into a fight with them.
Yeah.
That's right. Earlier in the movie, those two kids he gets into a fight with because little Joe picks the fight.
Oh,
He has to
yeah.
like beat him down. That's at the very beginning.
That's the very beginning. Yeah. After they
find
saw the knife, yeah, on the right hand. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, with Matthew Lupu and I don't
Lupu.
probably Sidney Sabiston. I don't know. So yeah, there was all that. So yeah, he gets his revenge on those guys. Does some chop, dice, and then how do we get out of this? How did
they go back to the log
Oh, that's
cabin.
right. They go to the log cabin.
And this was a
Find
little
the-
freaky
yeah.
part too. And they find this like book,
Yeah,
and it's
the
like
journal.
the
It's the
journal
journal.
of the mother. So then we see actually what happens. And Billy, the sister, she's like, I don't want to read this because it's talking about how her son was tortured and ridiculed, but like bullied, and he died basically like playing all these games, and they kind of tortured him.
Right, he thought he was going to go play games with the kids, and
Which was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's always fucking heartbreaking. But she's like, I don't want to read this. And then all of a sudden, they cut to this old witchy woman.
Reader!
And that kind of startled me for a second. I was like, oh, where'd she come from? And basically, she says that she was accused of being a witch, and she really wasn't. And this is why the kids were mean to her son. And then she turned into a witch because she's like, yeah, I'm going to show them.
Yep. You asked for it.
You asked for it, yeah.
And she carves the knife from the bone, and...
Oh, this is what...
I know, that's right. They killed her son.
Yeah, they
she
killed her
carves
son.
the knife from his bone.
And she says he's going to keep playing games with people, like this is his revenge.
Right.
And they say, well, what happens? The little boy's like, well, what happens if we beat him? And she, like she just starts cackling.
Yeah, sounded like you when you cackled. Totally cackled like you.
She looked like you.
Yeah.
But yeah, she
was old enough to be me.
Stop. She did like.
Well, she gave us our backstory. She was like our old, because you always got to do the research, and they found the book, and the book, ties them to her, and she's able to, she tells us everything we need to know to break the curse.
Yeah. Yeah. So they kind of go, well, she didn't answer me, but.
Well, yeah, they don't tell us what you need to do a great curse. They just.
No, she just says, like, it's not
she
possible.
Can't beat him. He can't beat him. But that's what they know. That's what they have.
They're
to do.
like, well, let's choose the game, because he sounds like he wants to play these games. He wants to play. So they choose what?
Flashlight tag.
Flashlight tag, yeah.
And that was when we talked about the trauma. They used to play with their dad all the time, and he was the best at it. Joe was the best.
Yeah,
That's what they said. Remember, that was Marcus said.
I guess he did die.
What's her name said it? The girl said it.
Yeah.
The girl said, he used to play it.
I guess Dad's dead. All right.
Yeah, so there's an absentee dad in here somehow.
Yeah.
There is no dad. Once again, trauma from disappearing daddy.
There's so many
Daddy
moments. Yes.
Sorry. We didn't know anything about those.
No.
Anyway, go ahead. You're saying you were going? You're saying?
Well, now you threw me off.
Sorry.
I was saying they have some moments where Joe is, it's a lot of. This went a little long, I think, this part, but he's going through the house, and the brother. Just when he looks under the bed, the brother's behind him. And then he turns around. He keeps just missing him. So it's a little suspenseful, but I think it went probably
you know what's coming,
so
it's like, okay, get on with it. Let's go.
He gets to the stairwell, and he catches him. He catches him with the light, and the light starts burning him up. And that's when the brother's like, his voice comes back, and he's like, stop, it hurts, stop, like, leave me alone. let me go. And he,
Your brother.
yeah, and he like stops. And I think that
Come
would,
on, man, that doesn't work.
it would kind of freak, I feel like, anybody out. But I guess they get to a point where they tell the sister what happens, and then they want to go find him.
No, sir. You cannot get up there.
So then at what point does the sister take the possession? They all put their lights on to him at one point, because they do, all three of them catch him.
Yeah, he
but
falls.
she doesn't. Oh, he falls.
He falls down from the stairwell.
Oh, and
stairwell.
drops the knife, and that's when she takes it.
She grabs the knife.
She takes it, and she says
the
it.
words, yep.
Now, this is what I didn't understand. We then see her in the, like, upside down,
Right.
and she's possessed, pretty much. But
All right, keep going.
she somehow gets out of it very quickly.
I don't know.
Don't you remember? Oh, God, what did she do in the upside down that she got out of it? Because then she wasn't
remember.
possessed.
I don't remember. She had to beat him at the game, though. Like, didn't she play another game with him or something? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember how how she gets out of being possessed.
No, she Oh, she had all the ghost kids. That's right, going like after her in the like the little upside down.
Right.
And then, oh, I remember. So when she's in the upside down, this is exactly it. I remember. All the ghost kids are coming at her and everything, and the little boy comes at her, and she gets her thumbs and puts them in his eyes, and starts screaming and goes, "Ah!" and then now she's not possessed anymore. She hurt him, and then they see the black footprints of almost like blood going through, and they're going through the house, and they find him, and I think they put all their flashlights on him, and he burns, or she cuts him. Does she cut him? She kills him. They kill him somehow. I don't remember.
Stab him with the knife?
I remember that part because she hurt him, and then she was fine. She hurt him enough. And yeah, they beat him at his game. So now he's gone, and they're free. So they go, somehow that happens. They go to put the knife back in the thing. Do they put it? No. They don't put it back. They get rid of it. They burn it or something.
I forget, but it winds up going back.
It winds up going
Just
back
showing
there.
back up in the
Yes.
Yeah.
At the log, and that's why I was like,
The log cabin.
that's why it's just in there.
Yep.
It hasn't been there for 100 years, and also, yeah. So we come to think, I guess, that the curse, they might be fine, but somebody else will not be.
Yep. The curse will live on, and hopefully a better sequel. A little more budget.
Yeah.
Because I vaguely remember the ending.
Well, yeah, I think they put all their flashlights on. They beat him at his
I remember
ending.
that, but I vaguely rember the stuff with her being possessed and her.
She heard him,
kind of
and she kept saying, "I heard him." Yeah. I think she actually stabbed him. That's right. She stabbed him with the knife, and he went up in flames with that, and that disappeared.
Gotcha.
And then we
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, that could be
See,
it.
I think
All
that's
right.
it.
All right. Well, that'll work for our ending for this, at least for our purposes. Woo!
Yeah.
That'll do it for digging deeper. Nothing really to rant on, and no big stunts or anything in this one. We don't have any trivia really in this one either.
No, we
Just jump
don't.
to our final thoughts. Do you want to read our email?
I'm
going to
read your. Yeah.
Well, let's do our final thoughts on this one first, and then we'll go to our email. Final thoughts. Okay. So, again, after dissecting it a bit, thinking on it. Yeah, it's not a great movie, but it's a fun little, fast-moving possessed object, possession type horror. And I think it was like 69 minutes, like 80 minutes. It's only like an hour.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick. For $5, yeah, it's worth renting. It wasn't great, but I've seen a lot worse, and I've seen a lot worse movies with much bigger budgets do a lot worse. So these guys, with what they had to work with, it was a nice little possession movie. I would recommend streaming it, spending a couple bucks to see it for sure.
Yeah, I don't even mind spending the $7 or whatever. I mean, it was fine. I liked it. I recommend it. You know, there's some bad reviews saying it was boring and whatnot. I don't think it was boring for some of the movies that we've watched. I've kind of fallen asleep through.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find it boring.
I found it was good. It was just a fine, decent movie at a low budget. So.
Yeah, they could have done some stuff better, but I think they had budgetary constraints that kept them from really, getting a lot more done or digging in a lot more in certain things. Like we said, we could have used a little more games, a little more stuff in the games, a little more emphasis on, set pieces revolving around the games. Like I kind of got the feeling of the games as they were happening, but they're kind of loose, like, it was kind of like loosely happening almost. Except when the tag was like set up, like, okay, we're playing tag, motherfuckers, stab you in the leg. I'm it, run!
Yeah.
That was good. Like, I was like, okay, cool, this was like a good little setup. But then, like, a lot of that time is, it could have been better too.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was a decent movie. I enjoyed watching it. I would recommend watching it.
Yeah.
Whether it's free or pay a couple bucks. Maybe wait for it to go down. But $6, whatever. That's like a fraction of a movie ticket. So it's spooky season. I would watch it.
And the other thing is, if you're a fan of horror and you see stuff like this thing cost $20 million to make, and they made, what was it, 201 million or 301 million worldwide?
213, something like that.
213 million worldwide.
Yeah.
That's a good sign, because the only thing that studios care about is money. Mm-hmm. So if these movies make money, they'll make more movies. So if you like horror movies and you want more horror movies, you need to spend a couple bucks, invest in some of these movies, especially ones that do well, so that you show these suit and tie dipshits in the studios that, yes, we want horror movies. We want R-rated, bloody horror movies with gore and, they're starting to get the picture, hopefully,
I think so. Because even all summer, we had a bunch.
We've had a bunch rolling out. And
hopefully it's just all year long.
Yep.
Just keep getting them.
But this is how we keep getting them. You support this stuff. This was a good little movie to watch, and to see a $20 million movie do 213 million,
something like that. Yeah,
that's 10 times their fucking budget. They
210. Yeah.
They 10 times their budget. So that's good job.
Yeah, I agree.
So I recommend seeing it for that reason alone, but also because it was a fun little ride. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little independent movie, a little low budget. Supernatural horror.
Totally agree.
So, all right.
Decent.
Well, now that our final thoughts are over, we're going to check out this mailbag.
All right, so I'm going to read this email. This is from our friend Justin Selig, okay? But I'm going to read the email, and I'm going to give his second question, and I'm going to hold off on that other question, and we're going to revisit that next week.
Okay.
All right? So Ronin and Steph, first and foremost, I'd like to start off by saying how much I enjoy watching you two both tear apart and praise the newest horror films every week. I must admit that I don't watch many new horror films. I'm more of the Svengoolie old school guy. Me too, I DVR it, Justin. So to hear your thoughts on modern horror is something I enjoy. I do enjoy Ronin's insights on stunts and how movies are really put together, and Steph's professional critique of how impractical or practical a wound kill injury may be. You guys have great inside knowledge from two completely different perspectives, and it's nice to hear what you guys think. I do enjoy the reviews of new horror, but would love to hear what you guys think of some Vincent Price or Universal horror one day. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to watching you guys and your antics every week. I do have a few questions, and I was hoping you'd answer for me as I say farewell. So I'm going to read your second question, because I think your first one we may have to think about a little bit.
Well, before that, real quick, Justin, you do see our Vincent Price over here.
Yes.
There he is. There's the man right there.
And we've been saying we're going to do like an old...
Yeah, we'll do a couple.
Especially now that it's Halloween. I think it's the perfect time that we dive into maybe one of our favorites, or maybe...
I think maybe what we should do, too, we need to do... Can you not use the flimsy plastic Tupperware shelving as your personal footstool? Sasquatch, thank you. It's the second time you broke it. Anyway, maybe we should do like one of these list type shows.
Oh, yeah.
Our favorite classics or something, or rank our top Vincent Price
and
movies,
give a little
or our top Universal monster
on
movies. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll have to do, a special show in October for something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Good idea, Justin.
Yes.
We'll run with it.
Yeah. Ghost
likes the idea, too. We're almost done, Ghost.
All right, so
done.
This one question. We all have guilty pleasure movies, and I know if you're bullshitting me, what is one guilty pleasure movie you each have? Justin's is Mean Girls. Now, that's just a pleasure of mine, Mean Girls. That's one of my favorite movies, so that's not a guilty pleasure. I can say mine, I think, that... everybody knows, and I know some of you are obsessed, but my guilty pleasure movies are the Twilight series, because I made fun of them for so long, and then I secretly love them. Every time they're on TV, I'm like, oh man, I gotta watch this. I get up. First one, have to. Last one, always have to. The ones in between, not so much. But that's like a guilty pleasure for me, where I could just watch it anytime, and I hate that I like it. So, but I love it. What is your guilty horror?
A guilty horror? I gotta think, man.
Well, I'm going horror-ish. You could just say pleasure, because if I do guilty pleasure movie, that...
I mean...
I guess any movie. Say any movie, because he said Mean Girls.
Yeah.
It's still Twilight for me.
It's tough. I mean, because I'm also a martial arts guy, and I love a lot of martial arts movies. So, and I watch a lot of Hong Kong movies, a lot of Chinese, wushu, martial arts cinema, old school, new school, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, all that. But one of my guilty pleasures in martial arts film would be a movie. Let me see when this came out, because I'm gonna have to. There's a movie called DOA, based on a video game, Dead or Alive. It was an old Sega game. It was a fighting game, kind of like Tekken, where it was like the 3D characters, and the game, while it had fights, it featured 3D female characters with very
Large breasts.
I was going to say assets. But yes, large bouncy boobs, man. And large bouncy boobs and large bouncy butts. And in 2006, it was, and then before that, the game actually came out in like the 90s probably. And in the 90s, it was still cool to have like anime characters, cheesecake, big boobs and all that stuff. And it was okay to like that and be,
I still like it. Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, I agree. We're not supposed to say we like it. We're supposed to like it. We're not supposed to have whatever. I'm not even going to get into all that. Anyway, the game had awesome female characters. It had buff male characters as well. Awesome fighting game. But it had this whole, and we're watching the trailer here.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes are amazing. And there was a lot of like, this is when The Matrix had been out. They tried to do a lot of like the 3D and the rotating camera stuff. And
oh, that looked like you. Oh, it's you. When you're trying to be a wrestler.
Yeah, and so the game had this level, this stage, non-fighting stage, where all the girls would play a volleyball game.
Oh, gosh.
In bikinis.
Oh, gosh. Were you drooling at your TV?
Well, no, we loved the game. Like, the game had to...
Oh, the game.
So they went and they eventually made this movie. And the movie was great. It stars Kane Kasugi, who's one of my favorite martial arts actors. He's son of the 80s ninja master Sho Kasugi. If you're a martial arts movie connoisseur such as myself, you'll know only a ninja can kill a ninja. That's an old quote from Enter the Ninja.
Yeah.
So yes, this was the movie made to go along with the video game, and it featured actresses Jamie Presley and Devon Aoki, who I had huge crush. I still have a huge crush on Jamie Presley.
Oh,
she is,
me too.
Oh my God.
Do you know people used to tell me I looked like her? I had blonde hair.
When did you have blonde hair?
No, it's a long time. Well, not blonde hair, blonde like highlights. Some guy in high school used to.
So here's pictures of Jamie Presley. She was doing, I could have sworn like she was doing splits and doing kicks. Like, her fighting was really good. Here's all 5 girls on the outside the giant pagoda. There's like a whole scene with the scene with the she throws the guns up, distracting the cop, and she's naked and the bra slides on, and she's catching the guns. I mean, there was just some really fun, cheesy stuff in there that is a total guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, DOA, Dead or Alive, 2006 martial arts movie. Ken Kasugi. Eric Roberts. Also, I have a connection to the movie.
Oh, God.
My friend Eric Roberts was the villain in the movie. He was the main villain in the movie.
All right.
My buddy, who I was his henchman in Hometown Hero. So
there you go.
There's our 1 degree of separation.
Leave it to Ronin to just drop names in his guilty pleasure.
I forgot for a minute. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He was the villain. Crap. So yeah, there it is.
All right. Yeah, really cool.
Thanks for the email, Justin. We appreciate it. And if you have an email out there that you want to send to us.
Yes.
Where?
Deadsville Horror Talk at gmail.com. Subject, mailbag.
Mailbag. All right. Well, I think that's just about going to wrap it up. Ghost wants us to get out of here, as you see. He's up here about to knock our shit down. And, we'll figure out what we're watching. Maybe The Nun 2 next week we'll review.
Yes, I would like to.
We'll check out that one maybe.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for us here at Deadsville Horror Talk.
Ghost is making out with Vic.
Yeah. You like it, Ghost?
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it. Fiends, stay spooky.
Bye, Scream Hearts.